good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. And yes, we're going back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we do, the usual disclaimers. First off, something I didn't mention about yesterday's paragraph that, struck me later. Isn't that typical? So let's go back up here a little bit. Remember how they say this finding is confirmed by research literature? See, the JRC, they have a tendency to not cite their sources. If you dig, you find out their sources come from within their own employees. Yes, that so-called research is coming from the written hands of the clinicians and the doctors that are all under JRC's dime. There is no corroborating outside research that backs their insane claim that by shocking, starving, and traumatizing students, you make them less depressed. So, yeah, you want to talk about underhanded and corrupt? This is why I'm jaded, folks. This is why I'm fucking jaded as hell. Try dealing with these fuckers for over a decade. God. Alright, in the description box, folks, you're going to see the link to the article that the Judge Rothberg Educational Center doesn't want you to read. It is written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's quote-unquote behavioral modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they do not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so of course you know the drill. Read the article, share on all your social media. You'll also see linked the public statement that NeuroClastic has made in regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding in case those bastards have the balls to see through with their threat. You're also going to see linked articles regarding the Agape boarding school situation. Agape boarding school is a Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in troubled teens that has, and pending, 21 lawsuits against it, including child abuse, sexual abuse, sodomy, child exploitation, as well as starvation and many, many others. The deeper we dig, the deeper the hole gets, folks. By the time we're done with this school, it's going to be another JRC, I guarantee it. I'm just saying, it gets more and more sick the more I dig. So, we have one staff member who has been arrested by the FBI, a doctor who was on the premises working for the school that is up on multiple charges of sodomy and other forms of child sexual abuse. And let's see here. You got 4 people charged with abuse, even though it should have been a lot more. A lot of things going on with Agape, and a lot of them are happening quick. So please read those articles. I also have linked the change.org Shut Agape Boarding School Down petition. Please sign it and share on all your social media, alright? We also got the pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject, the templates, and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, folks, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of peoples with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you do got young children present, please use your headphones. Also, this channel is marked 18 and up for a reason. We use profanity and we talk about dark subjects on this channel. So, if you are letting your kid below these ages watch this channel, parental advisory should go without saying. Not my job to parent your kids. That's your job. Alright? Can't go be going and blaming the internet for things when you're not keeping an eye on your kid. Just saying. Saying is all. Ugh. It is 3:54. Still exhausted from yesterday. As usual, my nerves are already starting up for tomorrow for whether or not it's going to be a good day on the phone. So if I stumble over my words, apologies in advance, alright? And sorry if I don't look the best. I just came off of exercise and mother of God, I killed myself. Not really, but you know what I mean. So let's go to where we left off last evening, 151. There does not appear to be any measurement of or treatment for the possible collateral effects of punishment such as depression, anxiety, and or social withdrawal. Student interviews revealed reports of pervasive fears and anxieties related to interventions used at JRC. Students verbally reported a lack of trust, fear, feeling upset, anxious, and loneliness. All the things which had been confirmed by the testimonies of Andre McCollins and his mother, Jennifer Masumba, and many other survivors during those FDA hearings starting all the way back in 2016. Everything New York has uncovered has been corroborated, backed by DESI reports, camera footage, their own camera footage, nonetheless, and just years and years and years of corroboration. But, with JRC, we just gotta trust them, bruh. We just gotta trust them. They're the experts. We gotta trust them, bruh. God. This is why I hate the modern world. This whole idea of just trust me, bruh. Believe the narrative pisses me off. It's not how I was taught. Not how I was taught at all. And sorry for my computer. Okay. The JRC students are not reporting this to their parents or the JRC staff, so JRC seriously questions the veracity of this statement, whether the NSED visitors coaxed the students to make these kind of statements. Oh, damn! Really? Really? You think they were coached? Really? So why the fuck are they going to go to their abusers to report how your punishment makes them feel when you give them more punishment for having the involuntary reflex to, tense when shocked with electricity? You make them scream, you make them beg, you make them fear for every single moment of their goddamn lives. You really think the first thing they're gonna do is come up to you and tell you how you're making them feel? Are you on crack? Think I ever went up to my childhood abuser and told him how he made me feel while I was still under threat of him? No, I fucking didn't. I kept my mouth shut and I hid. That's what you do. And to sit there with their whole chest, but they've never told their parents. When the fuck are they going to have the opportunity to do that, JRC? When you're not brainwashing them? You mean during phone calls when you have a staff sit there monitoring every single fucking word that comes out of their mouths? How about when they come to visit them at the JRC when they have a staff less than 3 feet away with a fucking remote control? When are they going to tell them parents of what's going on? When? When's that gonna fucking happen? You all monitor everything. When they try to write their parents, you screen it. You pull the same shit Agape does. You have some fucking balls to sit there and say, We don't believe that's true. We think you're lying or that you coached them. There's no coaching necessary. New York is an outside party. The students saw an outside party. They saw a fucking opportunity and took it. Yeah. See, that's what actually happened. These students saw an opportunity to speak to an outside party not under JRC control or manipulation, and they took it to tell them what was really going on. They're not going to come to you, JRC. They're hardly going to tell their fucking abusers how they make them feel. Really? Why? So you can say, then it must be effective. We got to do it more. Really? By the way, Andre McCullen's screams beg to differ. That lawsuit that was already going on back in 2006, where you fought for fucking years to get that camera footage thrown out? Yeah. New York knew about that, didn't they? Think they didn't talk to Andre and his mother? Think they didn't talk about the other kid who won his lawsuit against you? Think these students didn't see an opportunity and take it? Yeah. These students do not reflect the attitudes of the students while at JRC. Really, how the fuck would you know? Considering you tell them, no talking out. Think about it. Every time they stand up for themselves, what fucking happens? So how would you know what's going on in their heads? You don't. That's fucking ridiculous. Again, the students on the GED only experience positive side effects such as smiling, increase in appropriate social interaction, community outings, increased appropriate relationships with families to include home visits, increase in education for reading for pleasure, and decrease in need for restraint. Either you all are lying out your ass and you have no soul, or you've drank the Kool-Aid and you need to be in therapy yourselves. Can I say that? If you actually believe what you're saying, if you believe that torturing kids makes them happier, if you believe this, you need fucking help. There's something seriously wrong with you if you believe what you are writing here. You need therapy yourself. You don't need to be designing someone's treatment. Somebody needs to be designing treatment for you. Adversives are punishment, JRC, over literally nothing. Refusing to remove a coat, which was not harming anyone. You tortured them for non-compliance, for fuck's sake. They can't ever say no. It's just. If the students are experiencing any negative feelings, these can and would be addressed during meetings with their clinician. But remember when Jennifer Masamba mentioning these exact things to her clinician. And what would the clinician tell her every single time, folks? Well, it's part of your behavioral program, so. Yeah. What is the point of going to the clinicians to explain that you're fucking terrified, you're in pain, you actually want to die because of the treatment you're receiving in this hellhole, when all they're going to tell you is that it's on your behavioral program and nobody's going to step in to do anything the fuck about it? Yeah. Many students exhibit attention-seeking, inappropriate behaviors, and when encouraged to discuss these things, they take advantage of the situation. Oh my God. This is abuser dialogue 101. It's victim blaming. Oh, you're seeking attention. You're just having inappropriate behaviors because you're trying to get something. It's this idea, and it's throughout ABA that we're doing this because we want something. You think I want to have these odd-ass behaviors? Do you think I enjoy when I'm at my lowest and I do something that draws more attention to myself, that I want that attention? Hell no. I want everyone to fucking ignore me and pretend like I'm not even there when that's happening. Are you on crack? They use this, though. And schools like them use it. And you want to know why? Because they want to convince the parents that they're not actually doing something horrifically fucking wrong to their children. They're going to say that they're going to act out at home because they're seeking attention, not that there's something really fucking wrong going on. They sit there and say, well, they're just taking advantage of the situation and telling you things that are not true. That doesn't really line up with our understanding of autism now, does it? What is it you say about us again? So rigid and stuck so rigidly on the truth that we wouldn't even tell a fib even to save our own ass? Yes, there have been studies in New York and in other states in regards to that particular fact. In fact, they tell us it's a deficit that we won't even fib or move from the line what we know to be the truth, even if we feel that doing so would benefit us in some way. Oh, but we're manipulative, and we are manipulating our parents. We're just trying to say things. Really? What exactly would we have to earn from making shit up about you, JRC? What would we earn? We're still stuck in that hellhole now, aren't we? There is literally nothing to be gained. Because you want attention. The fuck I do. Fuck your attention. Most of us want to be left the fuck alone, but you all never seem to get that clue, no matter how blatant and obvious we make it. We can say it out loud, blunt and straightforward, and you still act. You're just acting non-compliant because you want our attention. That line right there is a way that they use to try to bamboozle other outside forces coming in to investigate them because they want to paint these kids as uncredible. But it's backfired, hasn't it, JRC? Because it's been corroborated since then by evidence. And that Andre McCollum's video, hasn't it? What you gonna say now? Such a general statement certainly cannot be made as a result of interviews of 3% of the New York school-age students. So which is it, JRC? Did they actually just focus on their New York students or only 3% of them? Because you said different in your previous parts of the articles. Also interesting that you put that in there. On one hand, you're sitting there denying it, saying we're just doing this to seek attention. Immediately after that, you say that it was only with They only interviewed 3% of the New York school-age students, and they all corroborated the same thing. That means what they're saying is true, isn't it? And you are trying to minimize and dismiss us so that people won't poke behind the curtain again, aren't you? On that note, folks, I'm going to go ahead and close out this evening. We don't get very many views on this channel, especially on this subject. The few that we do get do tend to get removed from time to time. So please, folks, don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time this afternoon. And as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. We'll see you next time.